Today's program has been brought to you by Hearst Ranch, the nation's largest single-source supplier of free-range, all-natural, grass-fed, and grass-finished beef. For more information, visit HearstRanch.com. Broadcasting live from Bushwick, Brooklyn, you're listening to HeritageRadioNetwork.org.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, Snacky Tunes.
So dreamy for a lovely, lovely summer afternoon. I'm Darin Bresnitz, one half your host of Snacky Tunes, Finger on the Pulse. Sitting across from me is a guy who looks like exactly like me, Greg Bresnitz.
Yeah, this is going to be our last show for a while.
I'm taking hiatus, going to work on a unyet titled project, so we are going to we're gonna have a good one today. That was just Erika Spring, who will be playing later in the show. You may know her from Avra Simone, who have been previous guests on the show or on the first compilation, and Erika's just an all-around great Brooklyn gal.
And a good friend.
Good friend.
You can say something. No one can see a thumbs up on radio.
Okay, I wasn't near my microphone. Thank you, guys. I enjoy being friends with you, too.
And she's also my random train buddy every time I play squash.
We always see each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about it.
Maybe you should invite me to play squash sometime, but I have a feeling you're probably really good and you need a challenger, not like a beginner.
It's relative.
I think you could take him.
You might be able to take me. You have the length. You have the limbs.
It's true. Yeah, my grandfather was good at squash, but he got hit in the eye and something bad happened to his eye. So.
Yeah.
What happened exactly?
The ball went right into his eye.
Yeah,
and then he like lost sight in one eye. Or
Yeah,
something.
he used to play with the hard ball and no protective glasses.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. First up, though, today we have Carl McCoy from Gwinnett Street, one of our new favorite restaurants in Williamsburg, and he is here today to talk about the restaurant and talk about the 5-year anniversary celebration of the Barbecue Blowout happening this Wednesday at Good Company at 7 p.m. Carl, welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to it. Really excited. Yeah, we got some really good food coming.
You know, speaking of grandparents, I think you were telling us before we came on the air that your grandma is the reason why you were in food.
That's true. Yeah, my grandmother was like 4'1", didn't speak any English, and
Where's she from?
She's originally from Castelvetrano in southern Sicily, in Trapani. And as a kid, I thought I was being punished about 9 or 10 because she had a pretty much like almost like an acre of just everything you could grow imaginable, and from like 6 in the morning till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, it was work with grandma. But
Was that to keep you off the streets?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, keep me out of trouble. But
Were you getting into trouble at 9 years old?
oh yeah, man, we're we got in a lot of trouble. I had a lot of siblings and cousins and things. So
Where did you
just
grow
kind
up?
of grouped in?
Yeah.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barbecue fan.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's my first job was barbecue, and been sort of obsessed with meat and everything ever since. So,
What's your favorite barbecue cut?
ooh, I don't know if I have. I don't know, man. The Kansas City burnt ends is probably my favorite style.
What is it about burnt ends that everyone loves so much?
They're crispy and juicy and full of flavor and deliciousness.
Those are all very...
And you can kind of do them 500 different ways throughout the country, and everybody can do them differently with different sauces and make them taste completely different from the other one.
Kansas City is one of those secret culinary towns that doesn't get
Yeah.
a lot of love. I mean, it gets a lot of love for its barbecue, but it goes deeper than
Yeah, there's
just smoked meat.
some serious players there. Yeah.
What
Name some.
Yeah, and
Give a couple
what were some of the
shout-outs.
influences you had growing up there?
Well, there's a couple guys, Corey Bluestem, John, formerly from Starkers, of course LC from LC's Barbecue, and then Arthur Gates, of course, from Gates is probably one of the most fundamental ones. I grew up with a guy named Brian Donegan. He had a place called McCoy's, oddly enough, no relation, but it was like a southern American food with the fried chicken and the biscuits and the barbecue and all the good stuff. And it was, I mean, to this day, you probably still can't get in there. Like it's
that long.
Yeah,
Really? Going.
yeah.
You ever work in the pits?
That was my first job. I was 13 years old, and I get paid $9.50 an hour to work on a 800-degree barbecue pit with a bunch of...
$9.50. That's pretty
$9.50
good.
now is pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
And you're a few years away from not.
Yeah, you got burned a lot, so nobody would take the job, especially young stupid kids.
What was the worst burn you got?
We were doing barbecue beans, and the way that we did it at the place I worked at the time is you lay all the marinated pork up top on the top grill, and you put the beans on the bottom grill.
Get the drippings.
Yeah, so that get the drippings. And one of the beans popped a pretty good pop and threw a big chunk of pork fat pretty much right on my forearm, and that made a nice tattoo.
So when did it switch from you think that you're being punished by working the garden to getting into food? Was there an epiphany moment, or did you just need a job?
I caught on pretty early. The barbecue was just sort of out of, okay, I know I can play with food and I can marinate meats and cook and stuff, so let's get a job. But when I was about 9 or 10, at the same time my grandma kept, at the time, to be the punishment, it just sort of became something that became also... I started to discover and understand like ingredients and why things smell the way they do, and make flavors and make things taste the way they do with proteins and fats. And so I'd say about 12, 13. Yeah,
It's pretty young.
It's pretty young.
Yeah, I'm advanced. Yeah.
So what
Alpha male.
And then what year did you realize that this was going to be your profession?
I think I was about 18.
Really?
Yeah.
So what'd you do in between 13 and 18? Did you work at the same barbecue spot?
No, I had a bunch of different jobs. The last place when I really decided that I was going to do some stay in culinary, I was working at an Italian restaurant in Kansas City, and I just thought, I don't know what. And then I went away to college, and I went into other different jobs to make money, of course, 'cause that's what you do. and then quickly discovered that I really hate all this other stuff. So I didn't want the BS of responsibility as far as any corporate situation goes. So went back into food at about 23 and stayed in it ever since. And then I got a job at a French restaurant in Kansas City called Exois, which is still there. It's really nice, good family-owned place. Probably still has close to the same menu, but it's all still solid, Southern Provence style stuff. And there's when I really started to understand sort of finer dining, and that you can take things to a different level, and just to see how far I could take it, and sort of ended up where we're at now.
What's the most important thing you learned about fine dining that you still use today?
I think there's a couple things. I think one of the biggest things is that it should be never taken too seriously. It's still food. It's still ingredients. It's still amalgamation of things all put together. But it needs to be relaxed, but it needs to be serious at the same time, if that makes sense. For where I think what we have at Gwinnett Street especially is that you can have some really serious food, really serious ingredients, by really serious chefs with composed plates that you'll never see anywhere else in the world necessarily, but still have relaxed, laid-back time and enjoy yourself. I think the whole point of dining for me, and I've always been a big fan of it, is just have a good time. That's why you're out. That's why you're enjoying food. That's why you're with friends and people.
You can do stepped-up food without being super serious.
You can. Yeah, that's the whole goal for me.
So then when did you move out of Kansas City? Did you come straight to New York? Did you go somewhere abroad?
No, actually, I went to Italy.
Oh. Sounds nice.
Well, I have some connections there.
Yeah. I know a guy who knows a guy.
I know a guy.
This restaurant fell off the back of a truck.
No, it's just one of those weird coincidences. A friend of mine I grew up with over the years. I don't know whatever that was.
It's a joke that he's been making all weekend that I don't find very funny.
Okay. All right, I'll dig into that later. Yeah, I'm sure we can make a pun off of that somehow. No, a friend of mine inherited some properties essentially from his father in Rome, and there was a restaurant on the property, and he didn't know what to do with it. So he asked me if I was something I would be interested in, and just sort of.
Were you cooking?
Did you open the restaurant?
It was already open. It was an existing spot,
right.
But he wanted to make it more something a little more special, and just still stay to Roman roots and all that stuff. But he didn't know how to do the logistics essentially, and didn't really know who to trust and all that stuff. So I was cooking. Yeah.
How long were you out there for?
Almost 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fluent in Italian?
Yeah, you could say that. When I'm there, I'd like to think I am. Anyway.
Enough.
Yeah.
And what's it like to have and run a restaurant in Rome? What's the differences between running an American restaurant and a Roman
night and day. It's night and day. The Italians are very laid back no matter what. But then we were in a very heavy tourist area, so dealing with all cultures of the world constantly. It's similar in New York to a degree, but on an Italian wavelength, I think that one of the major differences is in New York we'll modify hours and make time and open and sacrifice just to keep people happy and customers coming in. Whereas the Italians, when they're going to take off, they're taking off.
Oh, they don't care.
No, we're closing. Yeah.
What was like working with purveyors and haggling and all that stuff? What was that experience?
It took me a while. Yeah, it took me about 6 months to really.
Are they still out to screw you like they are in New York?
Yes, and even more so in Italy. After all, that's sort of where a lot of the modern day corruption comes from.
Do you have any stories?
I used to deal with this guy. He had a farm. Really, really. Of course, right outside of Rome, they all served the Roman senators, and they've all been making everything they've been making since the beginning of time. So they always had this good stories. But I had this one purveyor. He had this beautiful, beautiful pork. It was the best. It was the best pork in Rome, and he would do it for porchetta, and you do it for guanciale, and you had to have it. But he only would sell to like 3 guys in Rome. Period.
Right.
And so the first time I went to him, I went with one of the chefs that he sold to, and I was doing the friend thing. He's like, maybe let me see how it goes. Let me see if I have something for you later. So it took me about 4 months to really just dig into this guy, and then finally, one day after I knew the market was closing, I was like, all right, come with me. Like, you're pissing me off. I really want to serve your pork. It's the best pork in Rome. So come with me, eat my food, and then tell me you don't want me to serve your pork, and I won't. And then after that, he's my best friend, you know. And now I can, every time I go to Rome, I have a place to stay, and I should marry his daughter, you know.
That's amazing. And it's the best pork?
It was probably, to this day, some of the best pork I've ever had.
What did he do differently? How was it?
A lot of them feed. A lot of it has to do with the feed. He liked to use a lot of nuts, acorns, pecans, things like that. And this guy was crazy enough to where twice a year he would just stuff. He would let pigs actually. He ground up a bunch of different types of truffles and let them eat and gourd on it a little bit. And the meat was pretty phenomenal. But the cost of that pig was pretty outrageous.
I can imagine. And then what brought you back to the States? I'm assuming New York you came back to?
Yeah. I did a short stint in Philly. I really wanted to work for Mark Fetri.
Love Mark.
Yeah, great guy. Great guy to work for. His restaurants.
His food is amazing.
Yeah, I just, after reading all about him and everything, I thought, okay, if I still have a lot to learn, I want to come to back to the States and sort of see what everybody's doing. And then I came to New York. So I did a short stop, 6 months in Philly, and then since then I've been in New York for the last 5 years. Yeah.
Never too old to learn, right?
Never, and I'm learning every day.
Every day.
You always will be. Yeah.
And then, anyway, all right. So how about this? We're gonna take a quick little musical break, and then we'll talk about the thing that is Gwinnett Street and how amazing it is, and we'll talk about the menu and the barbecue and all the good stuff that goes with being one of the new best restaurants in Williamsburg.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Greg, what do we got?
This is from the new Twin Shadow record, Confess.
5 seconds?
Nope. You Call Me. Everyone's heard 5 seconds.
I know.
This is You Call Me On.
Love Twin Shadow.
Love Twin Shadow.
Let's go Twin Shadow.
Take me there, and I vote for you. You get the feel that you're always asleep, and if you look out and see me and touch me, I'll disappear. But I don't give a damn about your dreams. Oh, world that is falling at the seams, 'cause that's what it's supposed to do. I don't give a damn about the scene. It's my only way back to you, it seems that I'll cry and sleep the night and make you feel me. You call me on, give it up, you alone. You call me on, give it up, you alone. Feeling that I'm always awake, I'm trying to dream, and there's no one to take me there. And I vote for you. Feel that you're always asleep, and if you look out and touch me and see me, I disappear. No one can tell about your truth. Oh, world that is falling at the seams, 'cause that's what it's supposed to do. And I don't give a damn about the sea. It's my only way back to you, it seems that I'll cry into the night, make you feel me. You call me on, give it up, you alone. You call me on, give it up, you alone. You call me on, give it up, you alone.
Hearst Ranch grass-fed beef, pasture raised on 150,000 acres in Central California. Hearst Ranch grass-fed beef, free range, sustainably produced, humane. Hearst Ranch grass-fed beef, the authentic flavor of the American West.
So good.
Pretty good.
His new live show is so great as well. It's really awesome. Or their live show. I'm always confused about what the configuration is.
I think
It's
they're
him. And then, I mean, if it's
No, I
just
thought it was
him,
that the girl who plays keyboards as well does a lot of the songwriting.
You guys are looking at me like I know. I'm a huge fan,
Aren't
but
you
I'm
an
not.
expert?
I'm not an expert in the Twin Shadow
I
songwriting.
thought you're in a band, so you know all bands.
Yeah.
Like we know every radio DJ ever.
Yeah.
I know,
Ask me
every
anything.
restaurant.
And you know every
Yeah.
restaurant.
So we're here with Carl McCoy from Gwinnett Street, and we were just talking about his journey to Williamsburg. And when did you get the idea to open up what is essentially a New York restaurant? And we can talk about it as well,
Yeah.
but in Williamsburg.
Well, I don't know. I went all over. The minute I got here, I was on the mission to do my own thing, and I went to every borough, every place you could sort of check out. And Williamsburg, for me, was. I mean, you have Roberta's out here. You have a lot of other wonderful places down in Bedford. It was one of the first places I went to where there was something different. There was something that was just, they didn't care. They were going to do what they were going to do. They were going to make the food they wanted to make. The restaurants and bars and clubs were going to have their own type of personality, and there's a little more leeway. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, is sort of that acceptance to take a risk of people trying to do their own thing and experience, and offer the experience that they want to offer people without having a certain amount of limitation. So.
And how did you hook up with Justin Hilbert and Owen Clark, the chefs?
I interviewed a lot of guys, and Justin and I just sort of hit it off the minute we met, and just within an hour or two we were joking around, just geeking out, sort of sharing food stories and stuff. And then how we got Owen was how I got Justin. Was Justin pretty much said, I'll take the job when I offered it to him, but I won't take it unless you hire this guy Owen Clark. I want him to be my sous chef. And I'm like, well, I can't afford him, and there's no way. And he's like, well, what do you need to, this is what he needs to make, what can you offer? And so he made up the difference out of his salary. That's how much he wanted.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. So,
that's amazing.
yeah, I mean, you don't get that kind of team.
No.
Have they come up yet to what they both wanted to make?
No comment.
No comment. So we ask the hard questions on Snacky Tunes.
That might be the hardest question we ever asked. So what is it that Justin brings, and what's his pedigree, and then what do they bring together as a pair, and what is the food that you guys are serving up at Gwinnett Street?
Yeah, the team. I mean, Justin's a genius at figuring out any flavor or any particular protein of anything off the cuff, and just coming up with the most magnificent sort of composed flavors of things that I think a lot of chefs think of, or whatever. There's some great. I mean, obviously in New York, it's the greatest talent in the country, I think. But his finesse and style of it it really makes it snap, and it really takes it to the other edge. Whereas I think the team combination is fun to really watch them see, sort of, because one day Justin will come with me and have a plate, try this, and then I'm just like, okay, I give my 2 cents, and then Owen will come at me with the plate, and then try this, and then this is the plate after they've both worked on it together, and it happens, vice versa. And by the end of every dish, it's amazing. But it never starts that way. And without the other, I think they'd be fine. Of course,
Good balance, good creative tension.
Yeah. There's enough creative tension for sure.
I think that's really the most successful projects are really with people who are not always saying yes to each other.
No, they definitely challenge each other, and we all challenge each other in a lot of good ways. But the whole, I've never I feel like the luckiest guy on the planet right now as far as my whole team, my front of the house and back of the house staff. I really couldn't ask for a better group of guys, man.
And for you being a restaurateur who can also hold his own in the kitchen, how do you find like your opinion weighs in? Because there are certain restaurateurs that are just that they find the chef, they know what to do, but they can't necessarily get behind the stove and knock out dinner service.
I just always wanted to make sure when you do something, or when I do something, that I want to be able to know how to do it as well as anybody else there. These guys are on a different level. It took me about 6 months for them to really understand that, like, oh hey, Carl does actually have a palate and knows what he's talking about. I mean, they worked at WD-50, Blue Hill, Marguerite's, and they've gone everywhere. So
I mean, do you find it more like you're less common than the regular restaurateur?
I don't know. I guess so. I think now the restaurateurs of my generation, we're starting to become more so people.
Well-rounded.
I mean, even Chris here. I mean, everybody does have some kitchen, some front, a little bit of the aspects of all the restaurant.
And I have to say, within opening a few months, you guys got a bang out review from the New York Times.
Yeah,
2-star.
4 months, man.
How did that change everything?
It was like from going 0 to 1,000. Yeah, it really helped. It was a great review for one, and thank you, Pete Will.
Was it like that
New York
night
Times.
people were in?
Actually, it was funny. They plugged it on Eater that we were going to get a review on Monday. And I made the mistake of not knowing. I didn't know Eater was going to plug it on Monday, so I sent like everybody home except for me and the food runner, and we did like 100 covers. Like, we just got crushed.
Oh, on that Monday night?
Yeah. So it was.
Because people just
pretty
want to eat there in anticipation that it might be
good.
It might be good.
Yeah. So and then
Well, I was there before the review. I
yes,
was there.
you were.
Yeah, I was there
You both
before-
were. Yes, you both were.
How does it feel? Or how did it feel to get that sort of review?
I felt great. I mean, it was one of those. I didn't expect, like, there's usually a pecking order in New York. You get Time Out, then you get New York Bag, and then you get if you get any of them, you get New York Times, and then I saw Pete Wells first, and I didn't really know what to expect, and then he came back, and it felt great. The whole goal of going to the restaurant was hoping that we get enough attention to get a review. But you never know if you're even going to get a review. They only review so many, 52 restaurants, essentially less than that, sometimes 50 a year.
Yeah, you want that review, and then you wind up with, what was it, Nicolito, who that got a goose egg?
We don't need to. We don't
need to talk.
We don't do those type of
I
things.
had a pleasant experience at Nicolito.
Yes.
So.
So, and what are your favorite dishes and drinks? Because you guys have a great bar program as well. Let's say I'm coming in. What's the perfect order?
Right now, the must-have, we have a Peachy Keen cocktail. It's sort of, I like to do the seasonal stuff, and so do my guys. So it's Irish whiskey with yellow chartreuse, some roasted peaches, done with just a touch of citrus.
Hi. I would love to drink that.
I should have brought it.
Yeah, thanks for bringing a picture.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Sorry about that,
guys.
That sounds really good.
And then on the appetizers for me, we got. I mean, really can't go wrong. Right now, it's probably one of the best menus we've had since we've opened. Everything is really solid, but I would definitely get. We have a summer bean salad. Actually, we're going to be doing it at the barbecue.
Oh yeah.
So it's Erika Romano beans, different summer beans. With we made a smoked paprika strudel with some pickled fennel and a garlic yogurt.
Amazing.
Let's talk barbecue.
Yeah, so we're very excited. Lucille, for those who don't know, Gwinnett Street is housed in the same building where the Graham Lounge used to be, where we got our start at Finger on the Pulse 7 years ago.
It was your first gig, right?
It was our very first gig together. August, actually, yes. Was it 8 years now? 7 years. 7 years. And we were actually celebrating our 5-year anniversary of the barbecue blowout with you, and we thought that this would be a perfect little story.
Yeah, the irony
of
pretty
the
good.
irony or coincidence. Is that coincidence?
I don't know. In Williamsburg, I don't know if it's more irony or coincidence.
It's definitely not snark.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Because I'm very excited.
I am
but I remember walking up to, I was looking on my phone, I was like, where is this place? And then I just started laughing. Because it was a pizza place before it was in between, and I think you guys kept the oven and everything, right?
We actually got rid of it now. We had
Oh, okay.
we had it up to about 2 months ago. It just wasn't serving.
Wasn't doing the thing?
No, and I got really tired of, when are you guys making pizzas?
Right.
So,
And, but you guys are there, and you guys are doing the barbecue. We're so excited.
yeah, I really can't wait. We got some good stuff. We're doing marinated pork shoulder, some miso barbecue sauce, and some pretty funky duck legs. Not that those two words should go in the same sentence, but with some sherry and a duck shoe, we're gonna grill. Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll be able to tie into your humble barbecue beginnings.
Yes. My simpleton aspects.
And then
Now-
what can you say?
I was gonna talk about one of the other dishes that we have. We have a duck breast right now. It's really beautiful. So we marinate our duck breasts in like a burnt citrus, and it's a pecan with a peach and a farro, and some Woodbridge greens on there on top. I was just finishing out the menu.
It's going to be so
We'll talk
delicious.
about dessert.
I can't wait.
I took it advance sales are www.fotpnyc.com. So, and what do you guys got coming up? What's the rest of the summer? I guess summer's almost. What's the fall look like?
Well, we got some events we're doing in October. Andrew Zimmerman, the guy who's Bizarre Foods, does an event. Sort of like just a Brooklyn fair of all his favorite Brooklyn restaurants, and we're going to that. That's going to be in the old Williamsburg Bake downtown, and I think that's October 15th. And then we have Brooklyn Historical Society, which I think is October 26th, and the Brooklyn Brewery, which I'm really excited about. Those guys come and give us a lot of props, and we sell their beer. But they eat everybody comes by that you sell stuff. The purveyors always come by and like, oh yeah, I'll drop $100, put it in my face. But like these guys been like 9 times.
Those guys go out.
Yeah, man.
Love Garrett. Love Ben. We actually had Ben on 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Promoting the Brooklyn Sweden event that we're going to be playing with Erika and Alvar Simone.
Heading to Sweden.
And
I'm excited.
Brooklyn Brewery is
anyway,
also.
I can get a ticket to that, guys.
Yeah, just
we'll put you on the list. You just have to get there.
Yeah.
It's not a bad deal.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal. And actually, Brooklyn Brewery will be serving up beer alongside Avion water for the barbecue on Wednesday.
Cool. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on. Stick around.
Thanks for having me.
You got another slice of pizza with your name on it.
I think I'm definitely going to dig on that.
And what are all the nuts and bolts? How do people follow you? Internet, Facebook,
we
Twitter?
Got Twitter, Facebook. Our website is Gwinnett Street, GWINNETTST.com. We're at 312 Graham Avenue, East Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Some would contest to say Bushwick. Just 2 blocks off the Graham Avenue stop. So
I know that walk well.
And
I know that description very well.
Yeah, we tell people, get off Graham, take 2 blocks. It's totally fine.
Right
But we were trying to get
past
people
the
out
bus
there
stop.
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Go down that side of Metropolitan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get that.
Kind of Williamsburg.
It is.
It's definitely Williamsburg. It's really a cool neighborhood. I mean, it's still a very old school Italian neighborhood. And
have you eaten at that Mexican place around the corner? You go down Metropolitan Green and take a left.
Graham Morales.
Yeah,
they're open 24 hours.
Those torta sandwiches
are
ridiculous. Really amazing.
There's a lot of really cool little spots over there, man. It's getting there. It's getting there. I was really bummed about Motorino.
I know.
We were across the street from them, and that was just a landlord debacle, unfortunately. But
I thought the building fell down.
Yeah, she didn't fix it, I think.
Oh, okay.
Something.
And have you tried that new gourmet slider place? Something Castle? I don't remember. I don't remember.
White.
Something.
Ivory, maybe.
Ivory, yes. Ivory Tower.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Stand up, you said?
All right, we're going to take a quick musical break, then we'll be back with Erika Spring, live with Snacky Tunes. Greg, what do you got for us?
We're just going to play one track off the new John Talbot record, which I've been playing over and over. The record's called Finn, and this track is So Will Be Now, featuring Pionel. And they're going to be playing live September 27th at LPR with Fix, so get your tickets now. Yeah,
Got to get that album.
it's really good. It's really good.
So good.
I went to the Whitney yesterday and just listened to that and looked at art. It was really good.
The Yo-Yo Kusama?
Yeah.
I've been wanting to talk to somebody who went to that because I'm a huge fan of hers, but I wonder like what the show is. It all her installations?
There's a couple installations, but it's mostly there's one installation and then a lot of it is paintings.
Is it the
It's
mirror
amazing.
room?
Yeah, the Fireflies room.
Okay.
But the paintings are amazing. I didn't know anything about her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
It's amazing. Her, especially like her early stuff. That.
Oh, I can't wait to see
Yeah.
it.
Anyway, welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Welcome
We don't have
back to Snacky Tunes.
We don't have time for food, music, and art.
Okay.
We can only do.
Oh, that's another
That's
radio
another-
show.
Yeah. But we want to welcome Erika back to the radio show. You
Thank
were on
you.
here over 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think when the last Au revoir Simone album came out, which
Yeah.
was 2009.
Around the same time we had you on Dinner with the Band.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah. And if you want to go back and find that episode, you can just search our podcast on Snacky Tunes through iTunes, or just look on Heritage for the streaming. It's all up there, which would be good because we want to kind of jump back into the conversation we were having 2.5 years ago,
Okay.
where Au revoir Simone, we had discussed about putting out your own records, doing everything you're on your own, and now with your new release, your new EP, you actually teamed up with the label. So-
Yeah.
What? What?
Maybe to some people that would be selling out. No. I met this label Cassine, and they put out Celebrities, Chad Valley, and they're also sort of partner labels with the Swedish label Service that I'm a big fan of. So yeah, it wasn't with Au revoir Simone, it was like many years of hoping that the picture in our mind of like how having a label works would appear in front of us, and then we would like participate with it, but it didn't happen that way. And so we just started doing it ourselves and followed the model that our British label had of just, you know, hiring, manufacturing, distribution, publicity, all of that stuff. And it's been so fun. And the three of us have gotten to run this business in addition to writing songs together. And it's been a really huge privilege and such a great teacher. So, so even though I'm now working with a label, I'm still, you know, they're a small label and they really want me to be involved in any way that I want to be involved. So it's still works really nicely.
Are you ever like, hey guys, like maybe not like this?
I am a little opinionated. I feel like I can be that way when I know what I'm talking about. So,
I mean, it's probably rare. I mean, I feel like a lot of bands, and we were just talking about, some friend bands who are kind of waiting for a label, and then you could wait 2 years for it to not happen when there's literally so many modern tools.
And a lot of people, you don't even have to present your music in an album format anymore. Like, you can just put out a song, stream it somewhere, tell some people if it's good. Like, I discovered this band that I've been telling everyone about called Jeans Wilder, and they just had some free songs up on Bandcamp, and I was so into it. So yeah, I think that a whole career can be fueled by just like putting up some songs for free.
I mean, I think that you could spend the time. Yeah, you could spend the time trying to find the label, but if that doesn't work, you could also, especially if you're in New York, spend the time going out 5-6 nights a week, meeting writers, meeting bloggers, and like creating your own.
Or staying home making awesome music.
Once the music is done.
Okay.
No, I'm saying once the music is done, because we were saying like for someone who has a record done, like going out and meeting those people and being like, okay, I want to premiere this track with you on that day, and then that track with you on another day, and you can create your own.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't know how to put those pieces together, so that's one thing.
But you figured it out.
Yeah.
She's a smart lady, and she's got two equally smart other ladies.
Yeah, I had a good team, and like we had a really good group of friends.
Would you feel comfortable breaking down the different roles of you three ladies?
Oh, sure. I mean, it's like Annie is the money person. I went to school for art and graphic design, so I help sort of art direct the albums. And then Heather is a Virgo, and she's really good at like making lists and being organized. And I'm sort of like a mess maker, and she can like straighten it up.
So doing a solo project when you've been kind of couched in having two other balancing points, how did it feel this time around to do something on your own 100%?
Sure. I have been getting this question, and I realized like this project was also really collaborative, and I was just collaborating with my producer George Elbrecht from the band Violins. So it didn't feel like, okay, now I'm gonna see what I can do by myself or whatever. Right. It didn't feel solitary. Even when I was writing the songs, I booked this show at PS1 kind of randomly before I'd been playing much, and I asked my friend Alan from Neon Indian to play keyboards with me, and like, so all along the way, and Dev and Aaron, like, they were really supportive and invited me to play up at Bard, and there was always like a drummer to sit in or somebody to play with me. So that was even though it wasn't collaborating with Heather and Annie, it was all along the way still collaborative.
All past guests of Snacky Tunes.
Yeah, I know. It's a small community.
It's a small community. And I think also past guests also of Dinner with the Band.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really did not.
We really branched out.
Yeah.
Do you make cool music and you live in Brooklyn? Come on our shows.
Why don't we hear a song?
Okay, cool. This is one called 6 More Weeks. I'm just going to... My keyboard turns off automatically. There, it's back.
Okay, Erika Spring live on Snacky Tunes.
I had 6 more weeks to go. I'd be over that mountain. Thinking my way, I'm always thinking my way home. When you left me all alone, without any warning, over and over we go. I've been in a minute, darling, popping lovesick down to
So good.
Really
Thank
good.
you.
That was the song I was originally going to open the show with. I'm glad we talked.
Yeah.
Mix it up a little bit. So while the musical aspects were still collaborative, the lyrics, I'm sure, were deeply personal this time.
Yeah, they were. Songs are. I don't know. I always have to fill in the gaps with like slightly less personal, more just things that fit the rhythm and the. But the heart of the song is always has.
What do you mean you have to
deep.
fill it like?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm very precious about lyrics, and then you get to a certain point, and then you just have to finish the song and fit.
Like what you want to say doesn't fit into like the structure of the song.
Yeah, so you just kind of make it work.
Your 9-minute epic poem doesn't quite fit into a 3.5 dreamy synth
You're
pop.
like, this will be open to interpretation. People can,
What's
make
an
it mean what they want.
What's an
it to mean.
example of a change?
Of a change? Oh my gosh, I really wish I could think of something. There's some funny ones. Up to you. Oh gosh. There's too many. I can't think of anything
Too
right
many.
now.
How literal do you get?
Not very literal. I think that when I write a song, it usually arrives in my brain with some words that already exist. So then it's a matter of replacing them if they're ridiculous, which they often are, or bringing some kind of meaning, looking through old notebooks. I keep trying to, I'm always like have 10 different notebooks going at the same time, and I'm always like, I need to just have this one be this, and this one be for this, and this one be for this, but like, keeping your to-do list and your like poetry separate. But I realize that's not really how I work. So it's actually more fun to have this one notebook sort of document like a place in time, and this is what was on my to-do list, and this is what was in my philosophical heart, whatever.
Maybe Heather can help you organize it.
Yeah, she would be good at that, but now she's like all iPad, and like I haven't upgraded to the digital.
So for that last song, when you sing Darling, is it to someone specific, or is it just like a general love song?
That song's actually about a friend who was going through a really hard time, and just about being like at the edge of your own, like being able to cope kind of situation, and how much compassion there is like at that place from other people, because we've all been to our own edges and
beyond.
Yeah, it's just that song's just kind of about suffering, I guess, and trying to get through it.
I mean, a very real term.
Yeah.
Or topic.
I think so.
So when you're recording, as you were today, and for this album, what snacks do you have on hand? Are you drinking a lot of tea, a lot of health food?
Good question. Yeah, Au revoir Simone has a hilarious backstage rider. We have this whole like manifesto of like, we like fresh and natural foods, and thank you for and any like local specialties or whatever, because variety is always nice, and not having like the same thing of like hummus. But I was
Veggie
raised,
platter,
yeah, I was raised vegetarian mostly, and I learned that I'm anemic, and I started eating meat a lot.
How's
so
that feel?
It's great. I like it. So I'm changed. I don't know what is going to be on our future rider. Like,
Are the other two girls vegetarians?
Annie is, but she's also not all the time now, because everything's in flux.
What's your favorite meat dish anew?
I've just been eating burgers because it's sort of like it just seemed like a good way to get into red meat.
It's a really good.
It's a really good way.
At multiple different types of meat all blended together.
Have you had a steak or bacon and that type of stuff yet?
I'm not interested in bacon because I've grown up my whole life like smelling it and just not being into
that. I don't understand that statement.
Well, it's really hard to understand. Like, from my perspective, all of this meat stuff, it wasn't food to me. Like, it wasn't something that I could eat or was supposed to eat. So I just didn't think of it as food. And bacon, I just don't. Yeah, like, and also having spent my life like having bacon in stuff when I like didn't want it there. Like,
right. Like what, like salads and things like that?
Yeah, totally. And fake bacon things. Yeah.
That's one of the biggest atrocities. I can understand the
So 80s.
fake nuggets and even veggie burger.
Well, I don't even understand the vegan food that's like fake. That there was one place that had like fake chicken wings, and there was like some kind of non-edible bone. That
Yes, I've seen it. It's
really
like a wooden dowel.
Like, wouldn't you just eat like a mushroom or some peppers? Or
I don't know. I never
quinoa?
got it. That stuff always really wrecked my stomach. It was so processed and so
Yeah,
weird.
it wrecks everyone's stomach. Oh
It's-
my god, not.
It's not. I mean, I think that's a whole other show
Yeah.
for discussion.
Totally.
Of, like,
Anyways, so yeah, wholesome food, like snack wise, fruit, coconut water. I
Love that
definitely have a
coconut
lot
water.
of coconut water. I've tried
How real
every
is it that it's close to blood plasma?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know.
No, that's one of the things that it's as close to as like the natural pellets in your blood.
It just
Doctor over
feels good. It
I'm
feels
I'm
good,
saying,
like
look it up
coursing
right
through
now.
Yeah.
It's super refreshing. Have you? Yeah.
let's get another song.
Okay, this is a cover. It is a Eurythmics song. Did anybody see the
I saw Annie
closing
Landa
ceremonies?
Classics. That was, I think she won.
hilarious.
As far as spectacle goes, I think she really. Oh, we're gonna put the Spice Girls on top of cars.
I thought that was cool though.
is gonna come out
the
on
Spice
like.
Girls were awesome too.
a
They
ghost
were
ship.
great, but Annie,
Annie
Lennox
Lennox
was
was
like
awesome.
over the top.
She is so amazing.
I think that closing
You
performance.
guys should all listen to the first Eurythmics album. I just
What's
heard
it called?
recently. In the Garden. No, that's maybe a song. I can't remember, but it's easily found.
Just look it up on Wikipedia.
Or Spotify.
Okay,
Yeah.
this one is called When Tomorrow Comes. Underneath your dreamlit eyes, shades of sleep have driven you away. The moon is pale outside and you're far from home. Breathing shifts your careless head. I'm troubled by the chaos of our lives. Another day, another night has taken you away, my dear. And you know that I'm gonna be the one to be there when you need someone to depend upon. When tomorrow comes, wait until tomorrow comes, yeah, yeah. When tomorrow comes, wait until tomorrow comes, yeah, yeah. Last night, while you were lying in my arms, I was wondering where you were. No, you look just like a baby, fast asleep in this dangerous world. Every star is shining brightly, just like a million years before. And we were feeling very small underneath the universe. And you know that I'm gonna be the one to be there when you need someone to depend upon. When tomorrow comes, wait until tomorrow comes, yeah, yeah. When tomorrow comes, wait until tomorrow comes, yeah, yeah. And you know that I'm gonna be the one to be there when you need someone to depend upon. When tomorrow comes, wait until tomorrow comes, yeah, yeah. When tomorrow comes, wait until tomorrow comes, yeah, yeah. Wait until tomorrow comes, yeah, yeah. When tomorrow comes, wait until tomorrow comes, yeah, yeah.
Rad. Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Love it. So you have a show on Wednesday.
I do at Mercury Lounge. I just went out to LA and San Francisco to play my West Coast represent dates and
Represent. How was
Sometimes
it?
people call it a tour.
mini.
This
It was
is
a
Erika's friends
micro tour.
Represent my rep. I'll be representing for about a month.
Did you get any good food out in San Francisco?
I did. I went to the Mission and I had Taqueria Cancun, which is like my place. And we tried to go to La Superica in Santa Barbara on the way up, but there was a crazy line, so we went to like the less touristy place that's 2 doors down, and
I
it
don't
was
know.
equally amazingly good.
What are those?
La Superica is like at least in the music world, that's like where you go when you're driving north of California for tacos.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a El Farolito guy.
Is that in the Mission?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I've never tried that. I
think you have. I mean,
I
I've
should try it.
I've tried Cancun. It was good.
They have nice decor.
Yeah, the decor at Farolito is.
And they're
is
very
dumpy.
liberal on the avocados. which
Very
is-
liberal on the avocado.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
this
one
place.
thing that's
They're very.
important.
Avocados are so cheap out there.
It's true. Yeah, why not be liberal?
What's your order? What you get?
Well, veggie burrito. I was sort of like in the
midst.
That's just what I always used to get before I made the switch. And to be honest, I'm being a little weird about the meat. Like I'm only having like super grass-fed.
That's not weird. I totally get that. You want to know that it's good, clean meat.
Yeah.
Not saying that the meat at El Farolito is.
No, of course
Or
not. It's
Cancun.
just I'm just baby steps. So
It's fine. Little baby
Next
steps.
time.
We'll come back next time. We're gonna have like bacon earrings.
what's the good order at El Farolito?
I get the carne asada quesadilla suiza,
Okay.
which is just gut busting and awesome, and I eat it eyes down alone and don't look or talk to anyone.
There were also some some trucks. There was an Indian food truck in San Francisco that was delicious.
It's down in the business center, right?
Yeah.
It's I forget. I know those guys.
It was delicious. God. That was, and I didn't get to go in LA. The place to go is Cafe Gratitude, and I missed that.
I still haven't been there yet.
What's the deal with Cafe Gratitude?
Your orders are like, I am grateful. It's like you don't order food, you order like
It's all affirmations.
Yeah, affirmations,
Yeah.
not
Wait,
manifestations.
what? What do
Yeah.
you like?
Like-
But it's actual.
I am joyous.
I am love or something.
Yeah.
But
And that means like, brown rice with whatever.
Oh. Okay. All right.
So you get a little bit of positivity, and then you get some really
Yeah.
healthy. You get some kale and brown rice.
So they call your name like Erika, you are loved, something like that. Do they flip the
Yeah,
the pronoun?
totally. They do. Totally.
Clever.
It's like ordering a hug.
Totally.
So the show is this Wednesday
Yes.
at Mercury Lounge with Tiny Victories and Tizeo.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And then we are all going to go off to Sweden together.
Yes.
Which is going to be amazing. And I will finally see Alvar Simone
Yes,
live.
in Sweden.
In
in
I think I've
Stockholm.
seen you once at Public Assembly when it was Galapagos.
Wow, that would have been a long time
A
ago.
long-
when there was
Yeah.
still a pool.
We're still a keyboard playing trio
And then,
of ladies.
yeah.
And then when's the new Alvar Simone album come out?
We're recording right now. It's going really well. The songs are awesome. I don't know. To be TBD.
Sometime maybe next year.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what are the nuts and bolts to find your project?
Erika Spring on iTunes or Amazon. I have vinyl. You can order it online, and the vinyl's really beautiful. And yeah, I'm on Facebook and all that. Twitter, and I'm mostly an Instagram Twitter user.
What's the handle?
Erika_Spring. I got my record Instagram likes yesterday for a basket of berries from a farmer's market in the Hamptons, and it was 62 likes. So
Fair.
So all of you listeners, feel free to follow me and beat my record.
Okay. And then so you're going to take us out with actually a remix that you did, right?
Yes.
And what is this remix?
This is by a Nashville band called Jensen Sportag, and they are also on Cassine, the label that I'm on. So here it is. It's a remix of my first single from the EP called Hidden, which was the song you opened with.
And then thanks for listening, Darin. We'll see you in 6 months.
Something like that.
I'll
be back and forth.
And then make sure to come out to the barbecue this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Good Company, FOTPNYC.com.
And don't forget September 9th here at Roberta's.
I'm fading in.
Oh,
Are you going to fade in?
Sorry.
Okay.
That was a mistake.
No. September 9th, Heritage Radio Network support here at Roberta's Backyard Dinner. And all right,
Gwyneth Street and Computer Magic will be DJing Wednesday, and we'll see you next week with Phil from Momo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
See you.
Thanks,
Bye.
you guys.
Thanks,
guys.
Eric. Bye.
Thanks.
It's not what it is.
Thanks for listening to this program on heritageradionetwork.org. You can find all of our archived programs on our website or as podcasts in the iTunes Store by searching Heritage Radio Network. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at heritage_radio. You can email us questions at any time at info@heritageradionetwork.org.
Heritage Radio Network is a non-profit organization.
To donate and become a member, visit our website today. Thanks for listening.